everybody. I have something to say. For some reason, I am going to cry. I am going to cry right now. I don't know why. I think it's because of Neg's presence. I don't know. She's just incredible. I don't want her to cry either, but I really feel tears coming. I feel tears coming. I don't know why. I hit start streaming and oh, I'm just so happy to have Nex here. I am gonna cry. Oh wow. Mm.
My heart.
I think the tears are. I just glued my lashes on. Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
well, we
lashes are
yeah,
coming off.
yeah, don't mess up the lashes. I'm not worth crying over if lashes are
Oh yes,
involved.
you are. Oh yes, you are. I'm just. Negs has gone through so much in the last few weeks, but she's here with us today. Okay, y'all know I'm a Libra.
Say no more. Understood.
See?
Got it.
Oh my god! Wow, I love this lady so much. She has done so much for the community, with just her presence, her fundraising, the impact of her lovely Last of Us video. I just, when you look at Nikes, you think of Last of Us. You think of.
It's my legacy.
It's her legacy, chat. See, I'm trying to make it lively so I
Yes.
don't cry. Yes,
Yes.
see, there we go. But thank you, Negs. I'm just so happy to have you here. I'm so proud of you with everything you're doing with voice acting and everything outside of Twitch. You're killing a game, killing a game. I
Thank
was just chatting
you.
with Negs about just, all the amazing work she's doing outside of streaming and keeping her content very broad across different industries, which I think is super awesome. And I think y'all should start to take some notes, okay? Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Have fun, try out new things. Because let's see, Negs, quick question. Did you think you'd be in voice acting when you started streaming?
No, definitely not when I started streaming. I think a lot of people don't know this, but my last job before I became a streamer was being an assistant to a voiceover talent agent.
Really?
I worked at a voiceover talent agency. And so I
Mhm.
had always been involved in that industry behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Um, so
Okay.
I never in a million years thought that I would be on the other side of it. The nice thing was it gave me a great deal of respect and appreciation for the business side of things and seeing the actors process. I think a lot of people want to get into voice acting because they're just like, well, I like video games and it would be really cool to hear myself in a game one day. And I think it can be really easy to forget that it is like a career that people dedicate their entire lives to and a skill set that people are building over many, many, many years of hard work and training. And that was something that I didn't take lightly when I got into it. I really wanted to come into that space with respect for the profession and with commitment to educating myself and constantly working to always get better at it. So fingers crossed it's working. We'll see.
You're killing it. Every time I hear a piece, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Negs. She sounds amazing. Like this was made for her. This industry was made for her. Like
Thank
keep doing it.
you.
Take it slow and just have a good time. And maybe one day I'll hear you in a fancy smancy FPS game one of these days.
May-
Chat, listen, what if Negs was like the announcer of Apex or something, or just, I don't know, Call of Duty or something? That will really be something. I'm manifesting.
One
Hey,
day.
listening, whoever's listening, hire Negs to be an announcer where I'm shooting people and having a good old time. But then I'm like, oh, Negs is here to calm me down, and I got this. We're good. We're
That's what
having
I'm here for.
him.
Playing characters that provide support, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. One day. AAA game one day. We'll see.
Yes. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop crying now. So
It's
y'all, if you don't know who I am, I'm Ash. Or you can probably better know me as Miss Ash Rocks in the streaming space. I am Tiltify's community manager. I get to share awesome stories like Negs and cry and all the things. And I wouldn't want it any other way. So I am so excited to have Negs with us. Also, M, okay, better known as M, especially with the new industry she's in, especially in the voice acting scene. So M is with us. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you lovely individuals in chat know who M is, but let's get a little background of M from the beginning of content creation to now and all the awesome roles you're in now. We would love to hear it.
Oof, yeah. I have
Mhm.
been streaming for 6 years now, a little over 6 years, and I've been doing it full time for a little over 5 years. So it's been the better part of a decade for me, which is pretty wild to think about.
Wow.
Um, I got into streaming not knowing anything about Twitch. I had never watched a Twitch stream before. I had no aspirations of becoming a streamer. I was coming off of a really rough period of time in my life where I had been injured at a job that I had had, and spent a couple years kind of trying to rebuild my life after that, which was really, really rough. And unfortunately had a family member of mine who was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I was not able to afford money or time wise to spend as much time visiting them across the country as I would have liked to. And my stepdad had raised me with a love of video games. He taught me how to play my first MMO. We really bonded over video games together. And so when I heard about Twitch as a website, I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. Even if I can't visit, if I can get myself to stream video games, somebody can bring him a laptop in the hospital. And even though he's not able to game like normal, maybe it'll kind of bridge that gap and make him feel like something familiar is there, you know? Um, and I did zero research on Twitch before doing that. Absolutely none. Did not know how anything worked, didn't understand moderation tools, immediately got trolled and had really awful comments in the chat. And I had no idea you could purge them or ban people or anything. And so I kind of said to myself, I should learn how to use this platform. It's going to stress him
Wow.
out if he watches this and sees people saying nasty things to me. I'll just keep doing it for a little bit to learn how to use it, and then I'll show him. And then that just kind of snowballed and people just kept showing up and kept showing up, and then the community went from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100, and uh, I went full time within a year. And probably about 2.5 years into things was when I had my first piece of content go viral, which really launched things. And it was after that that I started getting into, I did professional tabletop role playing games. So a lot of Dungeons and Dragons that I play for part of my living, which is always wild to say. I got into hosting. My first hosting gig was hosting Twitch's coverage of E3, which was an amazing first gig to do. The last year they did E3 in person as well, which is kind of wild to think about, and voice acting. And that brings us to today when I am somehow trying to balance doing all four.
I remember your E3 coverage. I remember, and you were like, "This is my first time. I was really nervous." I'm like, "Where were you nervous at?" Because you killed it. I had such a good
Thank
time.
you.
I was behind the scenes actually watching Em do her awesome work. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be like her when I grow up." And I seriously do. I want to branch out into hosting and voice acting eventually. I'm like, I literally said it. I think I texted my mom. I could probably scroll back to my messages. I'm like, "Are you watching negaoryx right now? She's killing it. I want to be like her." I was so
Ah,
just I was blown away. I'm like, "For your first time? I think there's a secret here that M
thank
has."
you. Thank
So,
you. That's way too
no,
kind.
no, not it's truth though. It's truth. You killed it. I loved every part of your E3 coverage. It was amazing, and now you're just doing all these amazing things. And look at chat here. They're cheering you on. They love you, Em. They love you. You are so loved. And I want you to always know that. Okay? Nothing else. Always know you are loved and you are needed here. So
Thank you.
that's why I'm so glad you took some rest for yourself and still resting and taking things slow and getting back into the groove of things. But chat, can we please chant right now? We love you next. Or M. M. Let's do M. We love you, M. Take time for yourself. We will always be here. Can we please get that in a chat? Just real quick. Or some love. We can throw some Negs love, right? Heart. Wait, Oryx heart. Oryx heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neg, sorry. I usually remember people's emo prefix, but it's okay.
Thank
Anyway, in that
you.
chat, give her some love right now. Please. Please. I am just again so happy to have her here. You know, I was I was nervous reaching out. I said, "Oh, can I get her to chat with me? Because I want to learn more about her story." And she said
Anytime.
yes. I said, yes, let's go.
Literally anytime.
I appreciate you. And actually, now that I think about it, I think you rated me around it because we started streaming at the same time. You rated me early on. And yeah, your community went ham. I was crying. A bunch of stuff was happening. I believe I was playing Overwatch. I remember these things. I remember these things, girl. I
That's
do.
a real that's a really good memory from, like, what? That must have been, like, 4 years ago now or something.
2017. It had to be. It had to be because I set up in that quarter. So definitely ages ago.
Wow, 5 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And yeah, I still appreciate that raid from this day. So thank you for sharing your community with me. And yeah, I'll never forget it. Clearly,
Of course.
I'll never forget it.
That makes me so happy to hear. I think one of the things that genuinely makes me feel really fulfilled on Twitch is when we create those kinds of memories together of like interactions with other creators that end up being really impactful and really meaningful that leave lasting impressions on you. It's what gives us more of a sense of community and like camaraderie as streamers, I think.
Yeah, remember, Twitch is just a platform, but we do all the hard work. We cultivate our communities how we want them to be and share our love with one another and our other peers that are doing amazing work too. So, Nega, I keep saying Nega. I'm so sorry. I'm going between
That's
M and
okay.
Nega. I hope that's okay.
That's okay. I know it takes some getting used to using my name
I'll get
now,
it.
so
I'll get it next time. M.
yeah.
Yeah, M is a great example of that. And like she said, her community went from tens to twenties to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lovely people she cultivated in a space. So again, you're doing amazing in every space you're in. And you're killing it, and you're so loved. You're so loved and appreciated. So
Thank you.
I just, yeah, I'm honored to have you here. I may be
Thank you so
fangirling. Am
much.
I fangirling? Is this considered fangirling?
No, no, but I'm so, so, so glad that we're getting to chat today. I'm so happy to see you, and thank you so much for having me on. It's great to be here.
Yes. I haven't seen you in so long. So I'm glad we get to have this space digitally, while still being safe, because that's what we're about, being safe, chat. Next community is 1 in a billion of best people. First place, I felt welcome. Oh, I just, I think the best moments were her playing Last of Us 2 on the hardest difficulty, correct?
Yeah,
Yes. Now that
yeah.
was my favorite time in her
I
stream. I had a blast watching that.
thank you. I'm very proud. I did a no animals harmed run.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't like in the second game, that there's dogs that enter combat. And so I wanted to do a playthrough and showcase you can play on the hardest difficulty and you do not have to ever hit any of the animals to get through this.
Exactly.
And because I'm a bad content creator, I kept meaning to make a video tutorial explaining, hey, here's how I did this, here's the strategy. And you can only do so many things at once. It's been a busy past
Exactly.
couple years, but it was a very rewarding experience. I don't normally challenge myself to play games on the hardest difficulties and to do, like, challenge runs and stuff, but that one that one felt necessary.
Oh yeah, it was definitely necessary. And don't worry, it's never too late to do that video. We'll wait on it whenever
Oh,
you're
okay.
ready.
Okay,
Because
good.
I might follow your tips and tricks and be like inspired by
Mm.
doing a no animal hit run. Let's do it.
I recorded all the footage back in the day when I did the playthrough, and I just didn't finish editing it, so maybe I'll dust that off.
Yeah, maybe you can have an editor help you out. Take the weight off your hands.
Yeah. My wonderful editor was here in chat. I don't know if she's still here, but I did
Oh,
see her at the start. So just saying,
oh,
Ashley, maybe we'll put that file that away for later. Maybe we'll do a little
is it
Last of Us video.
Golly G Ashley?
Yeah.
Well, Ash, if you have more time on your hands, I'm looking for a YouTube editor.
Ashley's the
Let
best. 11 out of 10, highly recommend, just saying.
Really?
Oh, we'll talk later. Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Ash? Ashes unite?
Yeah.
Message me, okay? Okay. Anyway, did this on your community spotlight. No big deal.
I'm glad. I'm so glad that this is working out.
No, because I really do need an editor. So if you could help a sister out, I'd be so appreciative.
Highly recommend. Stamp of approval.
Boom. All right. Perfect. And yeah, so I think we're being super productive right now.
I
M.
think so. I think, like, we've gotten things checked off your to-do list during this spotlight, which I think that makes it successful automatically, I'm pretty
So
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're
Hmm.
talking about the most important part of today next. And that's you raising tons of funds for different causes with your amazing community. Now, how does it feel to be able to fundraise with an online community and support so many different causes?
It's the single most rewarding thing, uh, that's come from my career, I think, is the charitable work that my community has been able to do alongside me. Using a platform of any size on the internet for good in any way, shape, or form is so incredibly rewarding. And not only being able to see the difference that it makes for the organizations that we fundraise for, but being able to see the difference that it makes on the platform to influence other streamers to get into charity fundraising is also huge. My proudest moments in terms of fundraising on Twitch don't come from the goals that I've reached as an individual, but from seeing community members of mine come together to plan events or reach goals, support one another, go to each other's charity streams, help amplify each other's messaging. Uh, that's been by far the most rewarding part is that sense of the gaming community connecting and showing that we can do good.
Yes, and this goes back to where you and Avery and Bloody Faster created a community event with
Yeah.
fundraising. How did you all come up with this event and what inspired it to come alive?
Yeah, so that was Hand in Hand, which was an event that we did for fundraising for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. All three of us have been friends for years, met through Twitch, and uh, if I'm not mistaken, I think we met for the first time at one of the St. Jude summits as well.
Mhm.
Um, and we each have different backgrounds with our stream, but a lot that links us in common. And we really wanted to put our heads together and do one big event combining our communities to make as big of a difference as possible for St. Jude. It's a cause that's really uniquely, deeply important to each of us. And both of them are just so unbelievably passionate and driven and hardworking. And absolutely tireless in their work when it comes to making a difference using their platforms and being leaders of their communities in doing so. There is nothing that either of those women won't do for the kids and the families and the staff of St. Jude. And it absolutely blows my mind and makes my heart grow 10 sizes every time I'm fortunate enough to be around them. So that was a really incredible experience. And the most uplifting part of all of it was seeing our communities come together for it and seeing that shared support.
Yes, and of course, that fundraising event raised tons of money, but we're not even looking at how much was raised. It's again, all those people coming together. Wow, this streamer that I look up to and admire is telling me that I can do this too. I can make a difference too. I don't have to be a streamer to create a campaign. I could still share this with my family, my friends on socials and still make an impact. And I think that's what that hand in hand event did in particular. It inspired so many of your community members to get into it too, which I hope to see more of that in the coming future. Just streamers inviting their community,
Yeah.
regardless of how much you fundraise, let's just come together and make an impact. It's more fun that way, and it's just more impactful having more people get involved, sharing the message. Sharing a message is so important. I'm telling you, even if you don't raise a single dollar, sharing the message and bringing awareness is so powerful. And I love that. I just love that. I love seeing people come together. It just makes my heart all bubbly.
Absolutely. And I love that you highlight the fact that at the end of the day, the amount you raise isn't the lasting impact that these events have. It really is about the outreach and the education. And I try to stress to people all the time there's so many ways to support that are free that don't require donations. If you're not in a position to donate, you never have to. And there are still so many ways to be involved. And it's such a great example to highlight the educational aspect of that. There's so many companies, for instance, that will do, um, like donations in your name, things like that, where, everyone gets to pick a charity that gets $100 that the company donates to or whatever it might be. And just by you, giving out fast facts about St. Jude or talking about the Trevor Project or
Yes.
whatever it might be, you never know whose head that's going to stick in, who's going to see an opportunity to give in a way that might not go through your campaign, but will still end up leading to greater support for these organizations and broader understanding of what it is that each and every one of them is setting out to do. That's my favorite aspect of fundraising as well, aside from obviously the wonderful amount of good that it puts into the world, is discussing the work that each and every one of these organization does, what makes it unique, and why it's important that we support them.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And I'm glad we're on the same page with that. And I'm, excuse me, I'm just so happy we get to share that message too with everybody here in chat. If you don't learn anything today, sharing awareness, you're doing your job. That's all you need to do. I'm telling you. If you if you fundraise $1, that's still impactful. If 1,000 people fundraise $1, that is $1,000. And I always remember what the gifts give. I think $1,000 is chemotherapy, if memory serves me correctly. I think it's a couple days of chemotherapy, but still, it's still impacting these kids' lives or whatever cause you are fundraising for. It's impacting the mission, and that's what matters the most. Every single dollar counts. Don't ever feel bad about not hitting your goals or not raising enough. And I'm telling you, everyone that raises thousands and thousands of dollars, it's just as impactful as your fundraiser. Okay, your time and love with your fundraiser and just having fun with it. Again, sharing a message with your community. So impactful. Don't ever forget it. I don't want you to forget it. And always know that you are doing your job. You are doing your job. And don't ever feel like you aren't big enough to fundraise too. I think that's something that's been going on lately. Oh, I get a lot of questions. Do you have to be a partner to fundraise? I said, no,
Yeah.
I do not. I mean, there could be people that are just not affiliated and they're raising tons of money and
Yeah.
boom, there you go. You don't need to have some sort of title to give back ever,
No.
ever, ever. You just need to have a link to share with friends, and that's all you need.
Yeah. I think a lot of people see a lot of like the trimmings of charity streams and assume that to fundraise, you need a really big audience and you need special alerts and incentives and rewards and milestones. And what's wonderful is those things are tools that exist if they serve you, if that's
Mhm.
what works for you, if that's what is needed for the current fundraiser. They are not things that you have to do to make a difference ever, ever, ever. You do not have to offer individual rewards and long term milestones if you're unable to, or if it
Yes.
would put too much stress or strain on you. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and they think that if they can't get the alerts working right, if they can't customize everything within an inch of its life, what's the point of doing it? And it can be really easy to lose sight of what the point of doing it is, which is
Right.
outreach, education, raising awareness, showing support, and making a difference. And you don't need all of the decorative elements in place perfectly to do that and to do it successfully.
Yes, do it successfully is the key word. Listen, I, if anybody remembers, back in 2020, personally, I raised $10,000 in 2 hours with no incentives, no milestones, nothing. I did it purely just chatting with my community and educating them.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Now I want to cry again. Here we go. But
It's gonna be one of those days. It's
it's
just
gonna
gonna be one of those days.
be nice. Yeah. But you don't always need to have incentives. You don't always need to have milestones, especially if you can't afford it. I say this all the time because I get a lot of questions, of course, with fundraising setup, and they're like, "Well, I can't afford being boozled. I can't afford balloons. I can't." You don't need to. You can have digital balloons you put on your stream. I mean, that's such a cute way to do it for free 99. You can have digital
Yeah.
balloons. You can eat food you already have in a house. That's safe. Please. Don't eat a whole jalapeno. All right. If you can't handle it. And don't make yourself
Mm-mm.
sick, okay. No self-harm, please. But yeah, use things that are in your house already. Just have fun. Use digital things that are free. Free alerts. We have our overlay set up. Free alerts if you want that. And we have images for you to use and widgets you can use to help you out if you don't want, your stream to look all fancy with your fundraising, but you don't need them all the time. You really don't. Just make sure you know about the cause you're fundraising for. And I wanted to ask you about that. How do you educate yourself on the causes you fundraise for before starting your campaigns?
Ooh, that's a great question. For me, the biggest resource is always going to be the website of whatever organization it is that you're looking at. I always want to read through mission statements. I want to read through what it is that they say that they do. And then personally, I also do a separate Google and look at where their money goes. So I know, am I supporting an organization where 50% of the funding goes to, you know, keeping the lights on, or where 50% of the funding goes to sending out PR mailers to other fundraisers? Like there's
Mhm.
different breakdowns of how that money gets used. So kind of just dotting your T's, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Yes. Yeah, that's the right one.
Yep.
When was the last time I had to handwrite anything? Said the millennial. I cannot recommend enough. Do your research. Find out. You don't want to do a fundraiser for a company and then later find out that their values don't actually align with yours, or somebody's on the board that you don't want to align yourself with, whatever it might be. So do your due diligence and do a bit of research. And if you are the kind of person that needs to write stuff down, write down talking points. My favorite thing that I love doing is finding financial information of like it costs X dollars to have an hour of an employee's or a volunteer's time or whatever for Trans Lifeline. Like if you can raise X amount of money or donate X amount of money, you've paid for 24 hours of that line being open. Things like that help make it a lot more tangible when you're talking about it on stream. Being able to say, hey, a $5 donation to St. Jude pays for some PPE, a 25 dollars donation to St. Jude completely covers the cost of a no chemo party. Like,
Yep.
and then as you say that, you can say, "Oh, are you unfamiliar with what that is? Let's pull up a video clip of that real quick." Doing your research so you know what you're talking about when it comes to what does this organization do? Where do they operate? Are they worldwide? Are you supporting something local? Um, how does their money get used? And who's being impacted? I recently did a fundraising stream for the Gentle Barn, which is a nonprofit with 3 different locations across the US of animal sanctuaries and rescues. Um, a lot of people would come in saying, like, well, why are you fundraising for animals? Why not do something for people? And it was always a great opportunity, again, because I'm familiar with the work that they do there to say, it does support people. Did you know they have a program here called Cow Hug Therapy, in which they are providing to anybody in the community that needs it. And they specifically work with organizations for veterans, for survivors of abuse, for kids going through the foster system, through people of any kind of group that might need any kind of extra assistance or care that can come for an hour and sit and do this therapy where you hug cows. And it's
That's
wild. I got
cool.
to try it. You are told to literally like put your entire body weight on them and lay your head and try and get your breathing to go in time with the cow. And it's so hard to describe. The owner was saying she thinks it's so impactful because cows are so huge, and probably the last time that we felt somebody's breath rise and fall with our head on them like that and heard their heartbeat and we were smaller than them, the last time that happened as humans is probably when you're a baby. Even if you, like, lay on somebody's head now, odds are they're not gonna be as giant as these cows are, you know? Um, and it was so therapeutic. I couldn't believe it until I tried it. And being able to talk about that and hit genuine, honest talking points of here's how this is affecting the community. Here's how they're doing charitable work. You're not just supporting them, you're supporting the people that they support. And if I wasn't familiar with the work that that organization did, I wouldn't be able to say that, and I would just have to say, well, I don't know, animals are cute, check out their website, I guess," you know? So that's one of my biggest pieces of advice if you're ever doing a charity stream, is it is better if you only have an hour worth of prep time, it is better to know about the charity than it is to spend that entire hour making alerts or whatever it might be, you know?
I agree. I think you will find more success with your campaigns as well and having the education because what are you going to say? Oh, like Neg said, yeah, cute animals, go support them. you know, you
Yeah,
got to know about their mission, you got to know about where their funds are going. And you said, see, Negs, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
you got this. You're doing great.
I got this. But like she said earlier, having those call to actions for those gifts that give with the certain donation amount is super impactful. That's my favorite call to action.
Yeah,
So another piece of advice, if you don't see those gifts that give with a certain amount, reach out to the cause, reach out to somebody, like, hey, can I get some facts on how much a donation costs for something that impacts your mission? Boom. And 9 times out of 10, they will reach back out to you with a long list. Like, this is what $1 does. This is what $5 does. $8, $10, all of that. So My call to action is always, hey, if 8 people can donate $1, you're doing this for this cause. If 5 people can donate $1, boom. If 5 people donate $2, $10 is doing this for the cause. Such a easy call to action, and it's so impactful because people don't think about that. They're like, oh, I don't have that much money to donate. I only have $2. Give me your
I
give it to me. It's okay. That's fine. Even if you
absolutely.
donate, even if you don't donate, share the stream. Hang out in a stream, hype up the stream, and share the mission with family and friends. Like, oh, look at my friend. She's fundraising for XYZ. Just wanted to let you know that's what she's doing. And maybe you can tell other friends about it. Word of mouth is so powerful.
Absolutely. I
Powerful.
remember the first St. Jude summit I went to during like the opening speaking portion. The head of St. Jude said, and I'll remember this forever, he said, we here at St. Jude would rather have 1 million people donate $1 each to our mission than have one person donate $1 million. Even though we get the same amount of money either way, in that first example, that is 1 million people who know who we are and care enough about our mission to give what they can, as opposed to just one person being aware. And I think that speaks volumes, not just obviously to their strengths. Although I do have a soft spot for St. Jude, I do love them if you can't tell. I think that speaks volumes about priorities when it comes to charity fundraising in general. At the end of the day, the amount that gets fundraised across the platform is an incredible amount of money. And that can be made up of each individual streamer only ever fundraising one single dollar. It can be made up of one streamer fundraising millions of dollars and the rest of us do a penny each. Either way, the charities are making the same amount total. It's
Yep.
more about how many people we can reach. The impact that we have by using our platforms to do any kind of charitable work is not limited to the dollar sign attached to the end of your campaign because the work never really ends, even when your fundraising date is over.
Truth. St. Jude is still here. Unfortunately, but fortunately, right? The work never stops. They are supporting these kids and their families until there's no more human beings that have cancer. Then we won't need St. Jude, right? But the work, it just doesn't stop. There's still so many people just going through these horrible diseases, and these families still need to be supported so they can focus on their baby. They can focus on their family and support one another and not have to worry about a bill. But guess what? We do that all together every single June. Yes, June. Yes, I have to think about it. Every single June, we rally our communities to come together and support these kids and their families. And again, every single person that creates a campaign, every single person that donates, you're impacting these kids and you're impacting the mission. Always know that every single person is doing something. You're doing your job, you're doing your work to support the cause, and that's what matters. And your job could be retweeting a stream for free, donating $1 if you can spare a dollar. It could be helping M set up alerts while she works on something else. It could be whatever it may be. You're still helping the cause. And the cause at the end of the day will appreciate your time more than anything. They love that you educate others because you never know where that education will go. You don't know who will hear it. So take the time to just talk about these things. All right. And then fundraising is next. So, those dollars help. They support the families. And whatever mission, again, you're fundraising for, it helps. I promise you, it helps. Every dollar, every dollar. Don't ever think otherwise. And I really want to put that in here. Please, if you don't leave with anything today, just know that fundraising $1 is so impactful. Please know that. Please. An easy call to action. If you have 40 viewers, 40 people can donate $1 if they have $1, and that's $40 that the cause didn't have yesterday. So just know that. Please. I love y'all. And I just want to see you have fun with your fundraising and choose causes that you want to support and that you're passionate about, and if you can relate to them as well. So, with my next question, what inspired you to fundraise for the causes you have supported through Tiltify?
Ooh, that's a great question. It depends. There have been times when I've done fundraising streams that are very specific to current world events where something's happening in the world and it's reactionary. This is something that we should be immediately having a call to action to try and support people as quickly as possible. There are others that are more long-term, just, once a year, I'd like to do a fundraiser for St. Jude. Um, Having a balance of consistency of causes and organizations that I've developed relationships with that I feel incredibly invested in their mission statements, while balancing mixing in there's so many things that I'm passionate about that I want to be making a difference with constantly, and if I fundraised for every single cause that I care about, I would never have a stream that wasn't a charity stream. Like, I that's just all I would do all day, every day, which would be a dream come true, but then I would also not be able to pay my bills. So, I have to space them out a little bit, but, for me for me, I try to I try to remind people because I think it's important to note it can be a beautiful source of inspiration to draw from something that is personal to you. So I hear from a lot of people who say, like, I've seen a ton of charity streams before, never donated. I recently lost a family member. Now I understand how important cancer research is, for instance, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately, at the end of the day, people coming to a point where they want to support is an incredible, beautiful thing. However, I think it's really important for us as humans and as individuals that hopefully are constantly working to be more empathetic and looking out for each other in the world. It's
Yeah.
important to remember we shouldn't have to have a personal connection to a cause to feel drawn to making a difference for it. So, for me, absolutely, that I lost one of my parents to cancer, and it's one of the reasons why I have a special tie to St. Jude and why it feels so important to me. Um, but it's definitely not the reason why I started fundraising for them because ultimately every cause that I've fundraised for, it's because the work they do is important, you know?
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
Fundraising for the Bail Project, for instance. I don't need to know somebody who is currently incarcerated to know that it is a cause that I want to support and something that I feel passionate both fundraising for and educating others about. Um, so for me, it was less about having like a specific tie to get into fundraising and more realizing that I am extraordinarily fortunate to have a community of empathetic, passionate, incredibly selfless people who are as committed to making a difference in the world as I am, and realizing, hey, maybe we can do something together to make the world a better, more equitable, safer place for everyone if we focus on different charities throughout different points of the year. So,
I love that. And yes, I agree with spacing them out, girl. You got to space them
yeah,
out.
yeah,
And I think also another topic for another time is being burnt out. You do have to space out your charity streams,
yeah,
And people think they aren't burnt out, but when this happened to me. Created my campaign and I looked at it for about 20 minutes. I swear, 20 minutes. I looked at it, I said, I can't come up with anything. This is not normal. This isn't normal. I probably should postpone this one until next month or something. Give myself some time to relax and refill my cup because, again, if your cup is empty, what's going to pour out of it?
yeah,
Nothing. So keep that in mind too. Space out your campaigns and give yourself time. Okay. And especially if you need to pay your bills too.
yeah,
But I love that you say, if you can tie in a personal experience with a cause, uh, it will definitely make you feel more motivated to support that cause and share your experience with your community, and creating that experience for a community to see visually is super important. With my partner, him going through cancer as well, actually, literally right at the second he was diagnosed, Play Live came up in 2017. And I said, wow, I thought I couldn't do anything, but I can do something with my online community. And that was amazing. That was my first fundraiser on Tiltify, my first campaign ever. And I've been so inspired every single second that I get to fundraise for St. Jude. And I will always fundraise again because of my personal experience or
Yeah.
experience I heard from someone else. So I understand. I understand and I can relate to you. And I'm pretty sure everyone else can relate. Usually, 9 times out of 10, our first cause that we fundraise for is because of personal experience or you being passionate about the mission in some way, shape, or form. So I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome advice because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to fundraise for or who to fundraise for. Sometimes certain individuals have no experience with anything within their families too.
Yeah.
So, and I think secondary is looking at people you are around and what they are going through or what they have gone through, and listen to their stories and see how you can impact others that may be going through the same thing. So, just take a look at causes that you want to support. Take your time, do your research, like M said, research the website, do multiple Google searches on where funds are going, etc., and have fun with it. And M, I have one last question about fundraising.
Mm.
What has been your favorite milestone you done or favorite reward you done with your campaigns?
Ooh, that's a great question. Uh, I would say my favorite is something that I am about to do. Um, and
Oh,
I have been on the wait list for a very long time now because I promised my community for last year, for 2021's St. Jude Play Live, that if we raised $100,000, I would get a tattoo to commemorate my rabbit meme from The Last of Us. And I said that when we had about 24 hours to go, I want to say, before the campaign was over, and we were only at about $17,000 raised. So I was like, there's no way. I was more just letting people know, like, hey, this is an incentive we'll use in the future because I wouldn't want to offer it for an amount less than that because it's such a like once in a lifetime thing that we're ever gonna do.
mm-hmm.
And I should have known better because within 24 hours, we hit $101,000 raised
From 17,000?
to 101 in like a day. Uh, and that was right at the end of the month. And the downside is my tattoo artist. She is wonderful, but she has a very long wait list. So I haven't been able to get it yet because I'm literally sitting here just like, when's it my turn? But I decided I'm gonna get on the back of this arm, I'm gonna get a rabbit, and on the back of this arm, I'm gonna get an arrow pointing towards it. So when you see me from behind, you'll see it
I love
going.
it.
Yeah.
And people are gonna
So
know exactly who you are. I love it.
You
Yeah.
know, I like it because if you know the meme and you know who I am, you'll get it, and if you don't, they'll just look like 2 random white girl tattoos from Pinterest that I picked at random. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it covers my bases either way. So, I'm excited for that one. I'm just excited because it was this beautiful culmination of I mean, raising that amount so quickly was just such a surreal experience in and of itself. It was truly like an out of body thing to witness the community coming together at the finish line. And it also just it was 5 years on Twitch for me that year. It was fundraising for St. Jude, which was, you know, the charity that really kicked it off for me personally for fundraising, and it just felt like this milestone moment in so many ways. Um, we've done so many incredible things. My community has blown me away and I could genuinely talk for days about all of the moments that have been meaningful to me. But
Yeah.
to get something tattooed on my body and to see it every day and be reminded of the work that my community does and their commitment to change and bettering the world with their voices, with their dollars, with their energy and their enthusiasm and their care and their kindness. That physical representation of the lasting impact that that's gonna have on me for the rest of my life is incredible, and I'm really, really, really grateful to my community for reaching that goal to make it happen in the first place, and I'm really proud that I'll have that story to tell anytime somebody asks why I have a rabbit and an arrow tattooed on me.
Worth the wait. I can't wait until you get it done. I am so excited about that.
Me
And
too.
gosh, that's incredible. 17,000 to 100,000. Wow.
Yeah, it was
That
pretty wild.
that is wild. And congratulations, because you are over $300,000 raised for charity. I don't know if you know that, but I just wanted to let you know.
I don't even know how that's possible. I truly don't. Over $300,000 raised just through our community alone directly is wild. So thank you so much, everyone who's in chat from my community, for making that possible.
Yeah. And guess what? Your community is doing the work, but they are only there because of you, because you cultivated that community. I don't know if you know that, but you did it. They're awesome, but you created the community. You created the space for them to feel welcome, to feel loved, and support causes that you're passionate about, and to support you and your work too, outside of fundraising because of you.
I don't know if I can take that much credit. I always
Okay, just look at it this way. How would they know who you are without you hitting that go live button and having that space?
thank
How would
you.
they know each other? How would they know each other
Thank you. I
without your
appreciate it.
community? But yeah, I just want you to be proud of something you created. All right. And
Thank
own
you.
it. Own it and just be proud of yourself. I told you this whole stream was about you and giving you all the praise because you deserve it. And I absolutely adore you and the work you're doing. And I just want you to always feel that love. Any day you wake up, you're like, I'm just not feeling good. It's okay to have bad days, but just know, yes, you're going to have a bad day, but the next day, people are going to love you again and love you again and love you again and support you in any way. So, with everything that's happened in the last few weeks, next, if you need anything, please tell us. We're here for you. So,
Thank you.
and anything you have coming up, let us know. We will elevate, uplift everything you're doing, especially as a queer woman. Actually, representing queer individuals in the spaces you're in is awesome too. And I love that you shared your identity few years ago. I love that about you and keep
Thank
killing it. Just keep doing the things you're doing. There's
thank
so
you.
much more you can do too, which I'm excited about. So,
If
yes,
if only there were more
projects.
hours in the day, you know?
But I'm excited for everything you're working on and I can't wait to hear it or see it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, one last question, my dear.
Yes,
Are you ready? You ready? Ready?
always.
Let's pretend that your community is not here, but you had to write a love letter to them. What would you say to your community to thank them?
Oh gosh.
Take your time.
Yeah. The years that I've spent on Twitch have been the best years of my life and the worst years of my life. I've gone through more personal trauma and endured more pain and stressors that I never could have anticipated 6 years ago. And a big part of the reason I made it through the way I did is because of my community and because of the people that I've been so fortunate to meet and to know through this platform. I have never felt more like myself or liked myself more in my life than until now, honestly. Twitch has been the single most invigorating, empowering, rewarding, challenging thing that I have ever done. And I never would have done any of it if it were not for my community. I don't stream because I like being on camera. I don't stream because I want to hear the sound of my own voice talking over a video game. I don't stream because I want to be on social media. I stream because I started on accident for one person and people showed up in chat and I liked hanging out with them. And they asked me, "Hey, when are you going to stream again?" And I kept showing up just for those people and they never stopped asking. So I only have the career that I have, the platform that I have, the presence that I have, the life that I have, and I'm the person that I am today because of my community and because my community never stopped asking when the next stream was. And I hope y'all never do. So thank you for making me a happier, more well rounded, fulfilled person. Thank you for being the thing that keeps me motivated to take care of myself and to be a better person so I can share that with you all. And thank you for letting me be there for you as much as you've been there for me over the years. I love my community.
I love that question so much.
Putting me
So
on the spot, man.
I put you on a spot, but I knew that it would be so authentic and just lovely and passion. And you showed all of that to your community. So I just wanted you to give your community some love so they can love you back, you know. You know, you know.
No big deal. I'm just going to go cry forever after this. That's
I
fine.
know that's literally what I'm gonna do after this. Then I won't care about my lashes, you know, and saying,
Yes, there we go.
"Oh, thank you so much, Em. I really appreciate you so much. Again, I'm so proud of you. Keep doing it, girl, and take care of yourself. We're so happy
Thank
to have
you. Thank you so much for having me. I've missed you so much. It's so,
you. I
so,
miss
so good to see your
you.
face and hear your voice. And
Same.
I can't wait until we can safely reunite and hug in person again one day
One of these days, bestie. One of these days.
at
So
some point in the future.
yeah, we're working our way. Working our way. If you are attending TwitchCon, you may or may not see my face. So if you see my face, say a gentle hello. No touchies though. No touchies. But I will say hi. If you see me there, don't hesitate. Would love to chat with y'all. So just be safe, everybody. I want you all to take care of yourselves and your family. All right. Please, for me, please stay cool if it's hot where you are, or stay warm if it's raining or it's cold where you are. And yeah, just have a good rest of your week. We'll be live again soon. And did you have any last words to share with us? If you had any.
I just want to say a really big thank you to you for having me on. And thank you so much, everyone who was here in chat to hang out. I hope that anybody who at any point has felt that there's something in the world that they want to see change can find the means to do so and to take that first step towards being a part of change using Tiltify to fundraise here on Twitch. No amount is too small, and there's no cause that is too small to be worth supporting either. So, whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever it is that you want to see different in the world, I'm sure Tiltify has an option to help you make a difference. So I hope if you take away anything from our talk today, it's that it is more beginner friendly than you would think to start fundraising here on Twitch. And I hope to see lots of charity fundraising streams from y'all in the future. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me. It was great chatting with you.
Of course. Thank you for your time because I know it's precious. And everybody, if you need help with fundraising, you know who to talk to. I got you. I got you. Yes, we try our best to be as beginner friendly as we can be and make it easy for you as streamers because streamers have busy lives and we don't want you to go through a complicated process to set up your campaign. We want to make it as easy as possible. But of course, you can still struggle and have some questions. So please join our Discord. You can reach out to us, ask me questions, or if you have a more technical thing, you'll put in a support ticket with us and we'll take care of you. So thank you, everybody. And if anyone is interested, Neg still currently has an active Tiltify campaign supporting the Trevor Project. Noted. Noted. Thank you so much. Yes. Go look up. Is your Tiltify profile still negaoryx or is it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. negaoryx on Tiltify and go support her campaign if you want to. So thank you for sharing that. Nia? Is it Nia? I'm sorry. Or is that an I or an L? I'm
Oh,
so sorry. I don't
that's
know.
an L. That's NLA.
In LA. Well, in LA, thank you, darling. We appreciate you for sharing. I can never tell. I'm like, is it an I or is it an L?
You always have to ask on the internet. And it's
Al-
never the one that you think it is.
always, always. But guess what? At least I asked and didn't assume. So I'm that's what people should learn how to
Very
do.
true.
Ask ask questions, besties. I'm telling you, asking questions does not hurt anybody. And there's no silly question too. So if you didn't learn anything else today, you learned that today. But we're gonna go send some love over to our lovely, lovely bloody faster. Let me check if she's. Oh my gosh! Please tell me she's still alive. Okay. Woo! I thought I saw her off. Bloody faster is cooking. I don't know what they're cooking, but it looks like a beautiful, juicy burger with chipotle aioli, carrot fries, and some caramelized onions. So let's go see what she's whipping up because I'm excited and now I'm gonna get hungry. So that's great. Um, and we have our rave message here. Thank you, Ash. And Ash, we're gonna be talking. So message me. Okay. Message me. Oh, I can't type. Look at okay, there we I can type now. There you go. You can copy that rave message. You can spice it up with some Oryx emotes. Make it look pretty. We love that. And let's just go give some love to Bloody. I'm excited to rate her. I haven't rated her in a little bit. So let's go give some love. Everybody, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Please take care of yourself and stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next stream. Bye. I'm gonna miss y'all.